I knew about this sort of concept and the idea for How to Write Anything, and was able to sort of look at the early chapters that were in development for the book. And it was a kind of unique opportunity because I had sort of been realizing within our own program, we've been creating our own textbook and really using a genre approach where we really were trying to match the readings that we had our students doing with the genres of writing that we were asking them to do. So when I was asked to find readings then that matched up with the genres that were being explained in the kind of rhetoric guide part of the textbook, it matched with what we were already doing within our program, but just on a much larger scale. There's 8 major chapters, and each of those chapters represent a particular genre of writing, and actually there are genres of writing that students are very commonly asked to do in writing courses, especially in first-year writing courses. So things like literary analyses, rhetorical analyses, argument papers, proposals, reports, evaluations. And one of the attractive things to me about the textbook itself is that it was not saying, here's the first thing that you do. It's really organized around the different considerations that a writer would take into mind. And it's not saying that you have to do all these things in a certain sort of lockstep, but that these are things that you need to think about at some stage. I actually really like that. The reader is linked most directly to the 8 major genre chapters in the book, in that we're then gathering readings that fit under that fit with each of those 8 major genres. And in each of the sections, so for instance, literary analyses, we're gathering literary analyses, and hopefully a range, not to be able to show in the reader that there's not just one way to write a literary analysis, that there are many ways to do that. Or a genre like a rhetorical analysis, that there can be visual analyses, there can be advertisement analyses, there can be rhetorical analyses that are much more sort of classically rhetorically based. And I think that again gets to that idea of flexibility is power. When students see a range of possibilities for an essay, I think it gets them out of that mindset that there's only one way to do an assignment, or that the instructor has in their head a perfect rhetorical analysis essay. I always hope this for textbooks, and it never works out perfectly. But I hope that students get home after they buy the textbook and they flip through it and they're just interested, that it's something that they are interested to pick up, that it seems easy for them to understand how to kind of move through it, that they can open any page and find something interesting, not just useful to them, but interesting to them, genuinely interesting to them. And that's the challenge in putting the readings together.